Guys, let's read this article here from Mr. Paul Tassi. Further clarity on Destiny 2 Frontiers, Destiny 3, and the state of Bungie. In the wake of Bungie's mass layoffs and transfer of roles to Sony, the future of Destiny 2 and other project remains unclear. The official line from Bungie is just that nothing about announced plans have changed, which means 2 Destiny episodes, Frontiers, after that, and Marathon in 2025. Further reporting has dug into what precisely is happening next, and I'll try to add to that with additional context, content, and clarifications from conversations with sources familiar with the situation. It is certainly possible things don't come to pass as plans change. This spans a number of topics, and I may alter bits and pieces of this if further information continues to come in. Now, future Destiny plans. The larger content packs, though not true expansions, will contain familiar elements like new destinations, raids, and campaigns. Just much smaller scale on the whole. So Shadowkeepish size, maybe, though not that same format. Our goal is developing more replayable, unique activities like the Coil. If we are leaving the system, my speculation, this is where we'd see those new roads to visit. I'm not sure if this is free. So Shadowkeepish size. That's interesting. But it would be twice a year. But a focus on activities like the Coil. Now, that would be the main release of a given year, I believe, starting with Frontiers launch. And then 6 months later, there will be another pack of smaller content that's more something along the lines of what we got with Into the Light. This should be free. All right. Oh, okay. So this is worse then. So Shadowkeepish size, it's like a mid-sized annual expansion that will launch the same time a normal annual expansion would launch. And then 6 months later, we would get an Into the Light style update, but that one would be free. Now, between these, there may be something akin to current episodes, though the scale and schedule is not clear. Generally speaking, the idea is less sprawling, one-off campaigns, and a greater focus on replayable activities, the hobby aspect. With new Frontier format, there aren't widespread updates that will hit every facet of the game at once, like most expansions used to. It will be less than players are used to, not to say there will not be things worth playing. Now, cancel Project Destiny 3. Some elements of Payback seem to be shaping up well. The third-person adventure spin-off shooter Luke and Mark were doing. I've not heard anyone say it was flat-out bad idea or terrible in practice, even if the concept sounded like a significant departure of the series. I mean, we said it yesterday, like, part of me wishes we could have, like, play-tested it just once, just to see what Payback was like. I mean, a third-person, open-world Destiny. You know, I still think that it shouldn't veer away from first-person, but I would be willing to give it a go, give it a try. It would have been hero-based. I don't know which heroes we would have played as. It does interest me, the thought of, hey, I load into a world. I've got I've got Shaxx, and I'm about to go hunt down an Ahamkara. That sounds dope. I don't know if that's what they were going to do, but it would have been nice to have just seen it, just to see what if. I've heard multiple people say that all of the projects, Gummy Bears seems the most promising. The game that is going over to Sony under the new team, it has MOBA and Smash Bros-ish fighting game elements, and it's supposed to be very fun. That's so random though, man. That's so random. A Smash Bros-ish fighting game or fighting game elements, but as a MOBA. Question, is it fair to assume we have a bit more people working on Destiny now that the only focus is Destiny and Marathon? So maybe these content packs may not be so terrible, but obviously not story focused. I would have thought that if it wasn't for the ton of people on Twitter who all had Destiny 2 in their bios on Twitter, who are no longer working at Bungie. You know what I mean? We could go through a list of them, but so many people from folks that designed Fireteam Finder to many of the updates you saw in Into the Light to testers and also the people that did the narrative, music. It seems like everyone got axed that wouldn't be necessary for essentially maintenance, but we'll see. We'll see. Now, Destiny 3 was and is considered too big of a risk in the current market. The idea was instead to split up Destiny as an IP into more manageable components. The PvE portion we have now continuing in D2, Payback for an adventure genre expansion, a mobile Destiny game from NetEase, and spinning out separate 3v3 Crucible game channeling trials. What? It appears none of this is happening now alongside Destiny 3 never being in production in the first place. There are no plans to just shutter Destiny, however, and long-term rebranding remains unclear. But it's Destiny 2 Frontiers content only for the indefinite future, and Marathon remains the big thing right now going into 2025. Holy hell. Okay, so continuing the PvE bulk inside of D2, Payback for that adventure genre expansion, okay? A mobile Destiny game from NetEase. So the mobile game for NetEase there, guys. Is that just not just Destiny? Or are we talking like a completely different Destiny game, but present on mobile? What are we talking? Like a Destiny card game? This is Gwent. Probably similar to COD Mobile. I mean, look, I would be down for that. You know, someone brought up here recently that Warframe is on mobile. Is that true? Is Warframe on mobile, guys? How does Warframe run on mobile? People saying mobile is crazy for Destiny or just out of touch. No. If it's a mobile version of Destiny and it actually ran pretty good, I think that would be fantastic for the numbers. I really do. I think that would be fantastic. I don't see how it could run, but since some of you have already brought up that Warframe is on mobile, all right. I think a mobile version of Destiny, I would be down. You know, I mean, that would, you know, even if I would just get on to go pick up a weapon from Xur or something. Like if I was out with the fam and I was like, oh God, Xur's leaving, and I was like, I need to hop on and grab something from this vendor or whatever, I could do that on Destiny Mobile. I mean, that's the whole reason why I even had Stadia. That's probably why a lot of you had Stadia. It's like if you were traveling or something like that, at least you just brought the controller with you and you can go and you know, do whatever you needed to do. But here's the thing, no one's going to be jumping on mobile and going, yeah, let's go do the raid now. You know, I highly doubt that would ever happen. No one's going to be doing mobile day one raiding. At the end of the day, the best place to play video games, in my opinion, is on PC. Consoles are also good too, for the most part. Mobile is definitely not the place I'm going to do it on, but it is a good place if you're just running and grabbing a couple of, you know, checklist items, right? I played RuneScape. I played on mobile. So it's not a terrible idea, but this right here, spinning out a separate 3v3 Crucible game channeling trials. So, oh my God, who would play that though? I don't know if that would work. It is something like, I know Trials is pretty unique, but an entire game just focused on Trials, I would play it. Okay, this is what I love about Destiny, and this is why Destiny has had its hook in me for so long. My favorite thing in Destiny is going into different places in the game, whether it's raids, dungeons, activities, whatever, or even PvP, obtaining weapons, and then taking those weapons, upgrading them, and bringing them into PvP, essentially. Like that. That's one of the best feelings in the world, is getting a weapon that's earnable in PvE, and it turns out to be a monster in PvP. That's one of the coolest aspects about Destiny. And if you had a game that was just about, you know, just PvP and just about trials, there's not that overlap that would be as intriguing to me. All right, now one of Destiny's biggest ongoing issues is that its player base is skewing much older than everyone wants to see, which is worrisome to higher-ups. You want to attract a younger crowd, and that was no longer happening. Hence the desire for new projects like Marathon and Gummy Bears. And another reason as to why no Destiny 3. Are they calling us old? Aren't we better? Hold on, I thought we were better than that. Like, they just called us boomers. Well, hold on. Yeah, you can attract a bunch of 12, 13-year-olds, but who's more likely to swipe the credit card? When I was 12 and 13, you never asked mom for the credit card. I remember for my birthday when I was 14 years old, it took me forever, but I finally approached my mom and I was like, Mom, I only want one thing for my birthday. She was like, what? It's like, I would like a membership in RuneScape. And she was like, how much? It's like $5 a month. And I was like, I don't want anything else. I promise. That's all I want. A membership in RuneScape. And she actually did it. I couldn't believe it, man. But like back then, like you never asked for shit. Like you never got the credit card. You never got access to any of that shit. But I don't know how kids are today. Who is more likely to spend money on microtransactions? 16 to 26 or 26 to 46? I assumed it was 26 to 46 because your wells are your adults. Really? Kids for sure? No shit. Ask a Roblox parents. My kid plays Roblox, the free version. You play the free shit. You know, you're not buying skins. Nothing is free in Roblox. I have never paid for a single thing in Roblox, and my kid has played Roblox. He has a PC upstairs. He plays Roblox, and I have never spent a dime, as far as I know. Now you're making me question. Now I'm getting worried. I don't know. I gotta go check now. You can't tie any of your finances to your kid's account or they'll max you out. Look, there's some truth to that, man. My brother, when we were younger, he was about 13 years old and he somehow got a hold of my mom's credit card and he went to spending, dude. And $3,000 later, he had a dope ass village. I mean, that village was jacked. I mean, he went home. We were working together at the same shop. And one day he had like the most basic village. And the next day he came back and everything was amped, dude. One of his champions was like level 60 something. I was like, dude, how'd you do this? And he was like, I've been grinding. Like, I just saw you yesterday. How the hell did you do this? He tried to tell me he was grinding. But then mom checked the credit cards, I don't know, probably end of the month. And turns out he went to swiping. Now he claims when he swiped, it wasn't going through. And so he kept pressing it over and over so that it would go through. I call bullshit. I mean, it's just swipe Well, okay, maybe you accidentally spend 50 bucks. You know where I'm coming from? But $3,000. Come on. But yeah, all right. So maybe that's the kind of player base Bungie wants. Now, Bungie internally, everyone does not trust leadership at all, but leadership does not really seem to understand that. And some actually believe this weekend the situation went well, considering. What? How out of touch can you be? How? Who walked away from this week going, wow, that went really good? The sheer amount of stuff that was done for the final shape was massive. The story was rewritten multiple times. Missions redesigned multiple times. During the delay, they built a colossal amount of new content. Dread. Oh my God. I told you guys that was not part of the scope. Dual Destiny. The Verity encounter. Oh my God. That's why it looks different. It's a whole new encounter that was thrown in there. Exotic class items. Ergosum. GM Excision. Holy hell. Imagine if this stuff did not exist. That's what 3 extra months gives you right there, guys. 3 extra months and a very motivated Bungie, right? That's wild. That's damn near everything. I mean, outside, of course, you know, like Prismatic. But talk about crunching. The reason being is that the studio was told the expansion was make or break. And now they all feel lied to for obvious reasons. And the new mantra is that Marathon is make or break for the studio. God dog it, dude. Deuce, I thought the story was fantastic, brother. I loved it. Yeah, I thought it was great. I loved the incorporations of Zavala and the woes he was going through. I loved the situation and the tension between Ikora, Cade, and Zavala. You know, I love that Cade had to suddenly become the parent, you know, and in some ways, like, you know, he had to be the grown-up in the room. I loved it. I was a huge fan. For the first time ever, I felt like the story was actually like, was punching up. Was actually like, you know, fit for us, the boomer generation. My question, so if you were told, hey, this expansion is make or break, and then you went in there and you just killed. You did you put it all out there, and somehow that wasn't, I mean, dude, it can't be because of the final shape. I mean, at least from what we've seen, a lot of these layoffs seem like they were in place even before the final shape shipped out. It seemed like it didn't really matter. There were going to be cuts no matter what. We've seen this conversation multiple times. Can we get over it? No, see, I like context, and so I like content. I do like content, but I also like context. And right here, this is some big context right here. The colossal amount of new content. This stuff is new. We didn't know what all Bungie made in the 3 months. And you know, it's so crazy. There were so many people who were like, no, Dread was always a part of it. You just didn't look close enough in the Vidoc last year. Yeah, to those folks, lick it thy ass. Because right here, Dread was never part of the scope. Now, the new player onboarding experience remains bad because the team who did the Cosmodrome Shaw Han stuff got one crack at it, and then essentially no one ever tried anything of significance again. That may change with future plans. Yeah. Bungie is essentially tied to games as a service games forever. Nothing single player. Matter was not a live service first person shooter, so that was part of the reason it was axed. Wow. That would have been interesting. Matter was not a live service FPS. Now, many departments have been gutted after layoffs. Much of QA is outsourced to people who are unfamiliar with even the basics of the game. Joy. Everything has been divided up into strike teams now, even individual missions and activity modifiers. They form or dissolved, reform. Speculation is that higher-ups saw that players liked when they called things strike teams. So now there are a million strike teams. Oh my God. No one gives a fuck what the teams are called. We don't care. You could call it Team Dildo. We don't give a shit. We just care about if it's effective. That's so random. Who walks out of last year's, because they put that in the, you know, after everything happened with Joe and the state of the game, you know, Joe came out and said, we've got a Crucible strike team. Yeah, I mean, we were just happy. It wasn't the term strike team. It was the fact that you said we have a Crucible team, that we were like, oh my God, it finally happened. We don't care about the strike part. I like strikes. That's not the same thing. It's a different thing. It's just nomenclature right here that I don't understand. But also don't redesign your business model based around that. Even with the updates, many tools are exhausting to use and everything takes forever. And if Destiny 2 content is still being added, there will indeed be more vaulting for technical reasons alone. Though whether the no more expansion content vaulting rule applies is unclear. Like when things were bad during the pre-final shape layoffs, those that remain are confident in the actual work they're doing and believe they can make great things. They are hoping for community support as they continue to work, which is different than approving of leadership. I, for one, am happy to keep cheering them on. I don't know, Paul. I don't know, brother. Like, yeah, of course I'm cheering on Bungie, but right here, when things were bad during the pre-final shape layoffs, yeah, those that remain are confident in the actual work they're doing. They were confident. They were also confident that if the final shape popped, and because it was a make or break expansion, that they would be able to save their jobs. Look, I'm not the type to take stances on these type of things, because I kind of just like to see things play out, and also don't want to. We rock the boat, but I mean, like, I'm not working at Bungie. So before I take like a definitive stance on something, like, I have to feel really, really sure about it. But right now, this has been under Pete's, or both of these waves of layoffs have happened under Pete's tenure. And I feel like if Bungie remains under him, it's going to continue going down this path. This one right here, Bungie internally. Everyone does not trust leadership at all, but leadership does not really seem to understand that. And some actually believe this week in this situation went well. I can't. I have a hard time believing that. I have a hard time believing that. The only way you can believe that is if you literally live in a box. You refuse to look at the internet. Twitter is an echo chamber. Twitter isn't real life. Okay, right. The 220 people that were let go, the 155 people that got moved to another studio, they feel really, really good about this. It literally said, yeah, great point, Sneaky. Everyone does not trust leadership at all, but leadership does not seem to really understand that. Everyone, not Twitter, Bungie internally. I think the main thing is this. We're looking at it from the perspective as, again, I kind of, you know, it's like we're fans of this game. We're fans of Destiny. We want to know, hey, what's going to happen? Are we going to get more Destiny? And, you know, the reason why we're really paying attention to all this is obviously we feel for the people at Bungie that got let go, and for the people that are continuing to work under those unfortunately, it seems like terrible leadership and terrible leaders. But we're paying attention because it's also the game that we play every day. I don't think Destiny is dead either. You know, that's not what I'm saying. It's just, you know, this is not going to be like a quick death. If it's going to be a death, it's going to be a slow trickle. And, you know, just a little bit of hope here and there, and then get snuffed out if it goes that route. But I think we just have to see, man. We have to see whatever it is these content packs are. What's the plan forward? I think Bungie's focus is on Marathon, guys. I just think that's the focus right now. I think, and look, all I'm just very grateful for right now is that Bungie did give us, or the people that were at Bungie and the people that are still there working on Destiny, like big shout out to them for giving us a banging last expansion. Like, if that's really it, and we said it months ago that I told you guys that I felt like Bungie was taking us fishing. You know what I meant by that is that was a labor of love. Some of them probably knew. I think Joe knew this was it, especially it from him, but this could probably just be it. You know, it's just like the last big, you know, hoorah. And I'm just glad they went all out. You know what I mean? I think whatever Marathon must possess, man, I mean, it's got to possess something special. Marathon has got to possess something amazing for Bungie to essentially be canning everything Destiny related, including a D3, to just focus on Marathon and Destiny. And really what they mean by that is it seems like they're focused on just maintenance for Destiny, but all hands on deck are going to be to get Marathon out the door.
Slap that like button like your mama told you right.